How about a little bonus video, peeps? 10 questions, 10 topics in 10 minutes. Let's get this. Alright, so our first question comes from David Hall saying, I like it, but if those panels come flying off down the highway, yikes, do you trust that glue? And I have to say yes, yes I do. Because of the fact, first off, it's all in the prep work. As you remember, we took all this, we sanded it down nicely, made sure there's no loose paint. Of course, this is a brand new van, which makes it a lot easier. Then we used a good primer, as well as our window weld adhesive to hold all this stuff down and made sure it's set properly. And the way I look at it is if it can hold these side windows in vertically, which are probably heavier than these panels themselves, there'll be no problem at all on holding these panels down. Plus, if you look at all the brackets we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you went at 2 screws per bracket, it means we'd have 20 holes in the roof of this van that we had to ensure wouldn't leak on us even over 10 years down the road type idea. And now, that's just not a concern to us. So yes, I definitely trust this, no problem at all. And look at all the dead bugs up here. Absolutely disgusting. But I can't wash it now, it's too cold, and we gotta get on to the next question. Thanks for that though, David. I thought I was done with all that ladder work. Our second question comes from viewer Tommy1A1A. Another great and helpful video, DD. Thank you. I know some DIYers pre-cutting inside panel stiffers with a grinder before cutting out the window shape. I noticed you just cut right through these to cut the window shape. After doing it, would you recommend that approach, or should folks consider pre-cutting these for any reason? Now, if we go back to that video, you'll see that the saw blade cut through them no problem, and I really don't see any need in having to pre-cut these with a grinder ahead of time. And then you also asked, does the saw easily follow this line from the outside cutting through? It'll cut right through this, no problem, just like it did that panel. From the outside, you're gonna wanna mark your line with a piece of tape. As you see, it is a little bit rough, but when you're all done, you shouldn't be able to see this metal edging, because this should all be cladded with a nice ledge and all that kind of stuff anyways. Hope that answers your question. Next. And our next question is from our viewer, Bill White. Now he asks, when we installed this gray tank, are we concerned about it freezing during the winter months? And Bill, if you watch the install video, we put this part in on our P-trap that unscrews. Because it's only shower water, for having a shower, we can pull this cap off and the water drains right past it, so it doesn't actually go into the gray tank itself. Meaning we can have a shower at -30 and nothing's gonna freeze. It's gonna drop right to the ground. And now we've gone and got ourselves all dirty again. Now the next question we have is regarding our screen door that we put in on the side sliding door. More specifically, Danny Adams writes us, great screen install. How's the step now? Would be curious to see a video clip on the next go of the step up and out of the van with that lip being a wee bit shorter and higher up. Well, what a perfect time to do that one. Now I will say, with this being the 4x4 version of the Mercedes Sprinter van, it is quite tall already. Like the base of it comes up to my knee and our tires are low right now. But when you step up into it, it really makes a very minimal difference, if noticeable at all. And with the shortness of the step, it's only a difference of about ½ inch. And me with a size 10.5 shoe, I have no problem at all. Don't even think twice about it. Is that good? Answer your question? Next. Question number 5. Holy crap, we're halfway there. How's our time look? You think we're gonna make it? So on this question from our viewer named Too Many Toys, I will start off by saying, I feel your pain, the struggle's real, but I'm going the opposite direction, I'm selling all that stuff. But the question Too Many Toys asks, it says, great build, but I'd put a thermal brake washer where it is all connected to the floor to stop all the aluminum from becoming a heat sink. And Too Many Toys, we did do that. We took a piece of rubber like this, probably 1/8 inch thick. I'm not sure if I can get you in close enough. You will see there is rubber between that aluminum plate and the aluminum post that goes to the floor. That is to create a thermal break so the cold and or the heat coming up through the bottom of the van won't transfer to our aluminum framing. Good call though, because that's very important if you're going to use this aluminum framing and bolt it down to the floor like we did. Next! back on the ladder. So our next question comes from a viewer named Anise. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce the last name. I apologize, Anise. And it's about these cameras. So he says, hold on, I gotta look at the question again because I don't remember exactly what it was. Nice video, Jeff. Was wondering if the cams are equipped with motion sensor. Could be a good add-on. You know what? You can actually buy cameras like these with motion sensors. I decided against it because if you think about like security lights that you have on your house, even a good gust of wind ends up triggering them and setting them off. And where our display is gonna be, it is actually gonna sit in this area right here so that we can see from sitting in our seats or from lying in the bed. And I don't want this thing flicking on and off just because the wind blows and waking me up all the time. I'm only gonna use this if I literally hear a noise outside that's concerning me. I'll turn it on, check it out, and then devise a plan on how we're gonna deal with whatever's going on outside that van. And the next question we got is about our airbags right there. And Snarge22 asks, I wonder if the rear airbag system will be helpful in leveling the van once camped. And no, these airbags are not meant for that at all. We're literally just gonna put a few PSI in it, make sure the van's level, and that's all we do with it. That's it. There's no leveling with these airbags themselves. I have a different idea for that, but that's way in the future. I'm not even sure it's gonna work yet. So hit that subscribe, hit that bell, and we'll get to that point of the build. I promise you. And the second part of his question, oh, holy crap. Well, that just made us absolutely filthy, didn't it? Whew. The second part of his question talks about where the hitch is and the Schrader valve that we put in right here. Now this, Winnie, you're in the way. You're in the way, buddy. You're in the way, you're wasting. I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time, yes I am. Oh, you crazy boy. Oh, you crazy boy. Okay, whoa, careful, don't knock the camera over. But he asks if I would put a second Schrader valve in so we can adjust both bags independently. Again, not part of the cards, not something I'm planning. I don't see a value in that. What that does is if you run two separate Schrader valves, if one airbag ran out of air, that means the other one would be full, then you'd be sitting all cockeyed. We don't want that. But either way, next question. And this question comes from our viewer called C. Perry. And it's all about the wires that we've run here. And what he's asking says, Jeff, to pull and splice all that wire, how much time in total did that take you? Well, between the video recording and the planning, those are the biggest time consumers I have to this build. But as for the wire itself, I'd say it's about 5 or 6 hours of running wire and splicing wire, and we had the job completed. Next, and we're back up onto the roof again, this time to talk about the roof vents. You'd think the amount of times I moved this ladder around, I would have done all these at the same time, but I ain't that smart. So with these roof fans, the question comes from one of our viewers named Daniel Oulet. Daniel says, great video, the roof gasket is nice, but it's way overpriced in my humble opinion. How many tubes of self-leveling sealant did you need for the two fans? The roof sealant that we put around here, I think I mentioned it in the video, but I believe it was 2 tubes per roof vent. Now, regarding the gasket we put in, it might actually be easier if I take this roof vent out and then I'll show you. Yes, I totally just pulled this all apart just for you guys. Now as you see, you can see that gasket right here that goes all the way around. Now the advantage to the gasket, this roof is not flat at all. So to get that flat, you'd have to squish it with a pair of pliers, and that could be detrimental. It can cause cracks in that roof part. It can also just create leaks that are really hard to deal with. And for $100 for each of these gaskets, honestly, for a lifetime of knowing that those are never gonna leak, how really can you go wrong? And you pick the location you want it to be on your roof, whether it's a ProMaster, a Transit, or a Sprinter, he'll cut them because he has all the dimensions to fit every rib on that roof, so it makes it so easy and pretty much mistake proof. What do you think? Was that a good answer? Next, and last but not least, is the final question, and this one comes from our viewer Dan Biggie. Biggie, can't you see? Anyways, he asks, ha ha ha, what kind of dog is Winston? Pug? And that guy right there, he is a Boston Terrier crossed with a pug, which makes him a bug. Right, Winnie? Let's go play. So, what'd you think? Did we hit our time limit? If we did, I think that definitely deserves a subscribe hit and a bell hit. What do you think? But we will see you on the next video.